library, and the seed library is currently asleep. Maybe you have noticed we have a sign at the top of it that says closed for the season, but that's about to change. The master gardeners who are in charge of the seed library are all volunteers, and the master gardeners are the ones who started this seed library here in Davis County. The seed library is open at a certain time of the year, and we try to have seeds that are ready for each season for the gardeners. We start out with cool season crops, things like cabbage and kale and spinach. And when people are ready to start their gardens, those are things that can take some of the lower temperatures. After we put those in the bins, then we start to move on to the summer crops, spring crops, the things you usually think of as having in a Kentucky garden. Things like your melons and squash and tomatoes and peppers and cantaloupe, etc. And so then after that season, toward the end of summer, we try to add more seeds to our catalog that will have things if you want to extend your growth of your garden and have some cool crops once again to plant, especially if you're one of those people that has a cold frame or has some kind of tunnel or protective cover for some of your garden plants, then you may want to come back in again and get other seeds. When we work with the seed library, we've had a bit of a challenge because of COVID. So a lot of the master gardeners have worked behind the scenes in another location where they could spread out and be socially distanced from one another to prepare all the seed packets that we're going to be putting into the library. If you're new to gardening and you want some information about how to plant a garden, there's always information available at the Davis County Extension Office, and they'll be glad to answer your questions or give you brochures or booklets that tell you about what are the best plants to grow in our area, what are some of the companion plants that are good to grow next to one another, and also how to plan out a garden so you can have it for a multi-season. When we think about putting material in the seed library, we always want to keep in mind that there are some gardeners who like to start their gardens early by having them indoors under a grow light. They plant the seeds and try to have the plant ready and a pretty good size before it's actually time to take it outside and put it in the garden. Usually in March, that's when people are trying to start their tomatoes, and so we want to be sure that we are ahead of the game, and we'll have tomatoes in here for people who want to start doing that sometime in the month of March. We know that we're getting ready to turn the calendar over to February. We're all looking at the groundhog, trying to see what in the world he's going to predict, and we're all counting those days until we can get outside. How many more days is it until spring? How many more days until we can start planting outside? So we as master gardeners will be here in the following couple of weeks putting material in the library. Right now, if you pull out one of these drawers, you'll notice there's not anything in there. But we're going to change all that. So we're getting ready to wake up the garden. So by February 14th, Valentine's Day, you should be able to come in and select your seeds from the seed library. We usually have a checkout sheet here. This is all free. And when you come in, you write down how many packets of seeds you got and what category they're in. And the library generally puts a request that you take only 5 packets of seed per patron per month. So if you and your husband or you and your kids come in, so each patron of the library can check out or take home with them 5 packets of seeds. So that'll get you started, and you can start planning your garden and thinking about your green thumb in spring. So remember, we'll be waking up the garden around Valentine's Day. Thank you.